we talk about World Mental Health. Are we prepared for a day? Does a day really help? And have we still got the stigma of mental health? Also, we have a guest with us this evening, the marvellous and the talented Alex Kyle comes and joins us for an evening where we get to interview him, and he closes our show with a song. Also, we talk about modern names. As modern names are coming into the world, how happy are we with ours? Find out if we could change it, would we? So joining me on the panel today is Meredith Lloyd. Georgina Crawshaw and Abby Victoria. Good evening, panel.
Evening.
And a lot more on this week's Linc. Good evening. How is everybody?
Fine, thank you.
I'm blooming cold. I've got two jumpers on, and I can't seem to get. I put a shirt on for the show, and I was like, there is no way I can sit in this shirt. I can't do it. I'm just going to freeze. There's no way I can sit in this shirt. Is anybody else feeling cold, or is it just me?
It's freezing.
Oh, thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. Let's start with last week's polls that we open out to you. Thank you so much for joining in on our polls. And can I just say, our Facebook world has become absolutely incredible. A massive shout out to Sam who does that, because it's turned, we're getting comments every day, which is absolutely fantastic. So please keep commenting. So the polls from last week: should students come back home before this lockdown happens? 86% said no. 14% said yes. Choirs and the power of music: would you join a choir? 35% said yes, 41% said no, and 24% are already in a choir. Also, would you medically ask and be brave enough for a second opinion? 57% said yes, 43% said no. So they are quite close. That last percentage is quite close. And I'm not sure if I would ask for a medical opinion. So thank you for sharing. Make sure that you carry on sharing and joining in our polls. I did get a message from somebody last night. I do need to apologise. They sent me a message saying that one of their friends was a super fan, and if I could give him a shout out. Went back to the message today and the message is gone. So if you're watching the show, please get that to me, because and any shout outs really, if you want to shout out and your name shouting out, please get in touch with us. We have got another way of communication now, as well as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. We do have an email address that's open now to the public, and the email address is looselinks@gmail.com. That's looselinks@gmail.com. So if you're any singers out there that want an appearance on the show, any businesses that want to shout out throughout Lincolnshire, please get in touch. We're here to support you. So moving on to today's show. As you know, it was World Mental Health Day on the 10th of October. So the mental health category was brought straight to the front in our eye lines. Do you think it's enough that we just have one day? Do you think that will change anything?
I think it's the same with everything. Everyone thinks about it on that day, and then it's just forgotten about. Like, you get everyone sharing the posts and putting everything on the stories on Facebook, and then that's it. It's all gone after that day.
Yeah.
And not really thought about. And it should be thought about every day rather than just on one day.
Yeah. I think it is thought about every day by sufferers.
Yeah.
I think it's, like you said, it's a day and then it's on Facebook, it's everywhere, and then it's forgotten. But I do think it's a good thing, because I think it reminds people that probably don't suffer, and then they're aware, especially if we put it like I suffer with mental health issues, just to remind people that you've not seen for a while. You you get the odd text to see if you're all right, and you're like, oh, I've not heard from that person for a while. So I think it's a good thing, but I think the same as you, Abby, that it should be out there a lot more than it is just one special day.
I think it should be that one day's okay, but all it can do is put people in touch with other people. It's not helping overall. They've spent too much on different NHS rather than the mental health.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think what we tend. You are right, Abby, in the fact that there's many things that are celebrated just for a day, not just mental health, and I completely agree with you. Like if I think about it, I think about children in need once a year because it's thrown in our faces, and balls to cancer and all of these things, but actually it's people's reality, it's people's everyday. It's not about, oh, let's just think about mental health day and let's dress up and let's do something fun, because it's not about that. It's about I did a post on my own personal social media because I've suffered with mental health over the years, and I think, I don't know if it like Britain's Got Talent. I don't know if you saw, and I am shaming them a little bit here, so I do apologise, ITV, if you are watching. But I was a bit disappointed in, did anybody see the silent minute for mental health on Britain's Got Talent? Did anybody see that episode?
Yeah, they've done it before. They've done it on other shows as well.
Yeah, well, I just think, I think that's taking the mick a little bit. You're telling me that you're going to, let's stop the show for 1 minute. You're telling me somebody's going to go into a deep conversation within 1 minute of a telly programme. And I get why they're doing it, but I do think it's a bit of a Mickey take.
But didn't they get like £1 million from it, from like the Chancellor?
Oh, did they? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, probably wasn't that much, but they did an announcement saying that it had got over to the government, and that, I can't remember who it was exactly, but that they'd given however much money to the charity that Ant and Dec have set up.
Wow, okay. So it did make a bit of a difference then. It did make a bit of a difference. Do you... Go on, Georgie.
But will that money go to the cause as opposed to many charities? The money gets lost at the top end. If you know what I'm getting at. I want it to be useful. I don't want it paying administrators.
Yeah, completely get what you're saying. Completely get. So, panel, have you now? You can share as much as you like, or you could not share at all. It's completely up to you. But have you or anybody close to you, Joe Lloyd? You can answer somebody close to you. Has you or anybody close to you ever suffered with mental health, and you've watched what mental health can do to somebody?
There was nothing at the property, they brought everything in. So
silence is golden.
Yes, Nicholas James, you. But you know, it's difficult. You can't talk on somebody else's behalf. You know, if you just have to be there for people. I mean, I suffer in my own way, and you suffer in your own way, and other people suffer. But you should just be there to support people.
This is your office.
And do you think that's brought more of awareness of people that suffer in the Mental Health Awareness Day? Do you think people with mental health and have suffered with mental health feel supported in that 1 day a year?
I don't know.
I'm putting you all on the spot tonight. Well, it's a difficult subject to talk about, isn't it, mental health? It is a difficult subject to talk about. But personally, I think, do you think the word mental health is used too much?
No, I quite like the different things that people are putting on, though, sort of be kind and think about people and not just say mental health. It's difficult because you think you hear about mental health all the time and it's all over the television, but it's not really out there. But I did like the fact that people put on little things, and just it did make me feel better. It did make me feel better that like people were thinking about it if they put something on their social media.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it did for me. I'm not sure. I think it's important that it's getting out there a lot more. And a big person for me that came out in the celebrity world about it was Prince Harry, because I think that he's got a massive role that he has to keep forward and keep going. Obviously, people are going to have different opinions of Prince Harry at the moment because of his lifestyle and what he's chosen to do, and that's a completely different topic. But I do look out for people that actually we're not going to stem or we're not going to move forward. I had a conversation with somebody this week about this show actually, and they were talking about people sharing. They can't stand people sharing opinions that don't sit in authoritative places. Now, we don't sit in authoritative places. It's just, so he was talking about this show, like a load of people's just opinions. I'd rather hear the hierarchy opinions than just people, just everyday people. But my argument back to that was that if we don't start doing it, if we don't start talking, where's the middleman? Where's the middleman between person and professional? And actually, if I'm just, because I run a mental health Facebook group, and if I just touch one person's life out of all of that, I've succeeded. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you think that we need to? Do you still think that we hide away from talking about our own mental health issues? Do you think there's still a long way to go on that fact?
Without doubt.
Yeah. You do.
The people with mental health problems, that there isn't the NHS stuff to cover it. I heard about a girl a few weeks ago now. She wanted to see a consultant. She had to travel about 130 miles, I think it was, up to Newcastle. What good's that?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And I can tell you of, if you want, a personal case. My other half had psychosis and ended up in Quarrington Hospital when it was open. And the consultant prescribed a drug which was being prescribed to people with malaria.
Wow.
And one celebrity, he'd been in the hospital 6 months because of what he'd been prescribed. But I heard when I went to visit her in the hospital from the nurses that the drug prescribed often sent people into psychosis. So we got her off it, and she was home within 48 hours, and she'd come out of it. But the fact remains that they're giving, they don't know what drugs to prescribe. At least this consultant didn't.
Well, the thing is, it's a very touchy subject, and as you can see, we're all quite reserved on talking about it. But maybe that's because we're still in a sticky place with society and mental health, and we've still got a long way to discuss it. And I think we try and persuade the world quite a lot to that it's. I think it's breaking that barrier, isn't it? Especially for men and women. But I've got 3 women on the panel here. Can you say, do you think it's easier for women to talk to friends and family than it is for a man that's running a family to talk and break out about his mental health? Do you think there's a bit of a difference between the sexes?
Definitely, yeah. I think because we do talk, whether it's just over a coffee or over wine, or just over chat. We're more of like social talkers, whereas men, it's just like, right, buddy, kind of not a very good man. Right, don't judge me. But I just, not I think it's sort of more out there, more known.
Yeah.
But for some men, I think if their mate came to them and said they were suffering, they'll be like, "I'll just get over it."
Yeah.
Just man up.
Yeah.
Some men still see it as a weakness.
Yes.
Which is why I think when like footballers talk about it, like I don't know if anyone watched it. Vinnie Jones did Piers Morgan's life stories.
Oh no, I missed that.
About him obviously losing his wife and about how he was suffering with depression and he got quite emotional. And I think someone like that will help men sort of seeing someone as hard as he is breaking down on national TV shows that it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, whether you're male, female, old, young, it doesn't matter, but it's still for some reason a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, remember, you're the fifth panel member out there, and your opinion is just as important as ours. If you feel like you've been a mental health sufferer or suffered with mental health or know somebody quite close to you, please share your stories. Tell us how you've coped with strategies, what's happened to you as a person, and we promise to share it. Now, I've got some exciting news, panel. We have a new local artist coming to join us for an interview today. His name's Alex Kyle. He's been singing in Lincolnshire for quite a bit, and we're going to interview him. So let's bring him on. Please welcome Alex. Let's have him. Evening. How are you? Oh, it's just connecting, Alex. We're just connecting him to it. Just talk among yourselves a second. Make yourselves comfortable. Hopefully he'll be able to join. Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
The problems of live broadcasting, ain't it?
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the world of it. Oh, you're not. Oh, there we go. Good evening, Alex. How are you? Are you with us? Oh dear, we got internet problems.
Oh, can't hear you.
We can't hear you. You'll have to try the audio again. Audio hasn't connected. Where is he?
If this was on TV, you'd get your lines on your screen.
Yeah. Just bear with us. Bear with us. We are trying to get there. While we talk about this, I forgot to do something at the beginning. Can we welcome Georgina as a new panellist, please? I completely forgot to do that. Hello, Georgina. Welcome to Loose Links.
Oh,
Alex, you've muted your microphone. It's muted. We can't hear you. That's it.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello. Good evening. Very nice to see you. How are you doing?
We've got hold of you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. Are you?
Yeah, thank you. So we're going to interview you, Alex, and then I hear that you're closing our show with a song this evening.
Sounds good.
Which will be absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to it. I do have to say that I've had a sneak peek, and it's blooming amazing. So wait, panel, till you hear what the song's all about. So, Alex, we're going to ask you a few questions. So my first question to you is, are you local? Are you Lincoln? Are you a Lincoln-based person?
So I'm based in Lincolnshire. I live in Market Raisin, but as far as music or anything else goes, really, the whole county is sort of my playground. So, yeah.
So you're not just selected to one place then?
Oh, not in the slightest. Well, you can't be when you're a musician. Let's put it that way. You kind of need to be mobile and getting around. But I do work in Lincoln as well, so yeah, and it's not always nice to gig over there as well when I can.
So how's lockdown been for you and your family?
Well, that's an interesting question, big question, isn't it? Well, it's been a bit of a mix, really, to be honest. It's presented a lot of challenges, but it's also presented some opportunities as well. Huge changes to my sort of personal circumstances, but I think I think a lot of people have experienced that, really. In terms of music, it's been slightly more detrimental. Obviously, people are quite aware there's a kind of huge issues around live music, putting on events, those sorts of things. So as a gigging touring musician, it's been challenging, shall we say. Obviously, huge income lost this year, opportunities lost, chances to do any of the music festivals supposed to be in this year all gone. So yeah, it has been quite tricky with the lockdown. But then there's been some opportunities for chances to do other things whilst lockdown's been happening.
Fab. Fab.
I was sitting it. It's what people don't do with it.
Hi, Alex.
Hello.
Hello. So when did you start your music career?
Well, I suppose it depends where you exactly put the pin in it, but my first ever live performance for music was when I was 16, so a little over 20 years ago is all I'll say. I suppose it depends on whether you think of it as when you think of it as my career. I tend to think so. When I started, 3 or 4 years ago is when I put some serious time into thinking I'm going to make this into a sort of professional, semi-professional thing. Started touring around the UK and doing a little bit more work like that. So I could say as a casual amateur, maybe sort of 20 odd years ago, as a semi-professional, more about 3 or 4 years ago, I've been putting a lot of focus in.
Thank you.
I understand that you're a writer. Have you been doing any during lockdown?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, this is obviously with the lack of live music opportunities, it seems to make complete sense to spend time composing more than anything else. So a lot of I did hit a little bit of writer's block about 18 months ago. I only churned out 1 song in a year, which is quite frustrating for a composer. But yeah, since lockdown, I've managed to at least get sort of a good basis of 6 to 8 songs sorted out. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you again use the opportunities. Whilst I'm not out there on a Friday, Saturday night playing live in a pub, I'm thinking, well, rather than sitting there and having go into the pub, I could sit here and actually get some music done. So use those chances when you've got them.
Oh, that's very good.
So if people wanted to know sort of a bit more about you, sort of whether booking you or anything, how would they go about that? Where can we find you?
Sure. I mean, loads of ways. I try and make myself as accessible as possible. So if you're internet savvy, then things like you can search for Alex Kyle on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I've got my music live on Spotify as well. So if anyone's interested in hearing the record, you can go onto Spotify, search for Alex Kyle, and you'll find it there. Also, I tend to be when under normal circumstances, I'm playing around the county all the time. So people do sort of come up to me and say, "Oh, I've seen your name on a poster somewhere, but I can't think where." So again, it's about getting around as much as possible, really. So, but again, if people want to contact me, they can email me or find me on my website as well. So that's alexkyle.co.uk or info@alexkyle.co.uk. Or you can come and bash my door down or send smoke signals somewhere.
Don't give people that. Don't give people the opportunity of that.
I won't give them my address. Don't worry.
What's your genre of music?
Well, I work somewhere between acoustic folk and rock. So kind of acoustic folk rock is probably the quickest, easiest label. I play predominantly a 12-string acoustic guitar, so it tends to have that sort of acoustic folk 12-string sound to most of what I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. You've already answered the question that I was going to ask anyway, was how long you've been doing it. So it's been over 20 years, he said.
Yes. I should be good by now, that's the problem.
Ahead of the game. Well, I have got a final question, Alex, and I haven't prepared you for this question, so I do apologise. It came up in my brain just before the show. But could you tell us a little bit more about the song that you're going to sing the show out to? Where it came from, how you created the song? Did it come from experience, and what the song is called?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to explain. So the song is called I'll Be Your Lighthouse. The song is about supporting somebody that you love and care about through a very difficult emotional time in their life. So at the time, my wife, she was going through quite a difficult personal circumstances. So the song was primarily written for her as a kind of reminder to say that, sometimes whilst we don't always say or necessarily do all the things that we should do to help support our partners, it was just there as a reminder to say that obviously that I was there and wanting to do that. The song itself, so it focuses on the idea, using the idea of a lighthouse as a metaphor, essentially. So somebody going through a difficult time out at sea, stuck in a storm, and having a lighthouse guide them back to shore, getting through that emotional, turbulent time. I wrote it I initially started strangely learning a Simon and Garfunkel song, which isn't something I frequently do, but just one of the songs just caught my ear, and I started messing around with a couple of the chords, and it just gave me an initial idea to somewhere to start. I thought, this sounds a little bit like a Simon and Garfunkel song. It doesn't. I'm sure when you hear it, you'll agree it doesn't sound anything like a Simon and Garfunkel song, but it was a starting point. So sometimes when you compose really a single note, a chord, a lyric, just a little melody line, something can be enough to get you going with it. And because I decided to put the cap on the guitar right up to the 8th fret and strum a few chords in this Simon and Garfunkel style, that's just where the song kind of naturally materialized. And then the actual theme to use that came from the idea of, I think it's really important as a songwriter to be kind of aware of the things around you. So what's happening, what you see, what you're experiencing, what other people are experiencing around you. And strangely at that time, there was lots and lots of little references to lighthouses. Whether somebody mentioned one, what particularly mentioned one to me, one popped up on the television, on the news. There was just a few things at the time. I thought, if I'm keeping my eyes open here and keeping observant, there's something that I should be picking up on here. So hence where the lighthouse metaphor came from in the end.
Can I just say as well, I'm sure you didn't mean to do this in the slightest, but I just think we were just talking on the before topic on World Mental Health Day that has happened this week, and I just think it's the perfect song to close our show.
Absolutely. I mean, some of my songs do focus on the concept of I wouldn't say directly on mental health, but say the impact of situations and circumstances and the natural things that come out of that, which can obviously be challenging mental health difficulties and things like that. So I believe in writing songs about human experience, and mental health is a massive part of our human experience, especially more and more so as we become more aware of it these days. So absolutely.
Well, Alex, we might be getting you as a panelist at this rate.
Well, I'm always a big advocate for mental health, positive action on mental health as well. So, something I'm always happy to see supported and see talked about, because talking about it is certainly the first step towards making effective change, isn't it?
Fantastic. Alex, thank you very, very much. We will be saying goodbye to you, but you're coming back, aren't you, at the end of the show to perform the song? So we'll see you in a little while, but thank you very much. Please, we will be sharing Alex Kyle's details on our social media pages. So Alex, if you could send me over details, that'd be great. And then we'll post them onto our social media. So if you are interested in getting to know him, you can find him via our website and social media pages.
Fantastic, thank you.
All right, I'll speak to you later. Thanks, Alex.
Okay, thanks.
Cheers, bye-bye. Bye. Oh, what a lovely man. Wasn't that a lovely, lovely interview? That was so lovely. So we go on to our final topic this evening, where we're going to be talking about names. So we have an all-round topic to talk about. We're talking about modern names coming forward. Like some modern names, you can call your child Beat, B-E-A-T, as a modern name. Beat, Duke, or you could even call your child Princess in the year 2020. Nothing wrong with that at all. But our old names that we thought about years ago, do you think some names are going out of fashion? What do you think, Meredith?
I think there's just different fashions, isn't there? Obviously when I had my girls, it was Bethany was very fashionable, but I was like, I'm not going to call her Bethany. I'm just going to call her Beth. Yeah. So they come around again, don't they? And the old names come around again.
Do you find it irritating as a parent if somebody calls her Bethany?
Yes.
You do. Look at that. Yes. Yes, I do.
You've got to get the name right. As a child, when I was called Joanna, everyone called me Joanne. And I used to go, ah? And people used to look at me going out. I was like, my name's Joanna, not Joanne.
Tell me about you, Abby. Would you ever change your name?
Well, I have changed my name. I gave myself a middle name. Right. And I also changed my last name when my mum married my stepdad. However, when I was younger, I apparently wanted to be called Gloria.
Did you?
Well, you can imagine if my mum had actually called me Gloria, how I would have felt about it.
That's fantastic.
I even called my cat Gloria, because I wanted to be called Gloria, and how dare not that's what I wanted to be called.
Oh, I'm so calling you that from now on. Joining us is Gloria Victoria. So calling you that from now on. What about you, Georgina? Would you ever change your name?
I have changed my name.
Oh, you have?
Yes. I did it about 4 years ago.
Right.
Originally, I don't mind talking about it. I am trans, although I class myself totally as a woman. So I was called George Noel, but I ended up with Georgina Elizabeth. I much prefer those. But everybody to their own.
Yeah. Well, that's very brave of you to share that with us. That's very,
really.
very brave.
No, I'm totally open about it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's how it should
Wow,
work.
that's even better. Do you know what I mean? To be open about it, that's even more fantastic.
Yes, it's nothing to hide behind.
No, totally agree. I wasn't born Nicholas James. Legal reasons, I can't tell you what my real name was because that person's dead and gone. Not legal reasons in the fact that I was in trouble or anything like that. I was in a domestic abuse relationship and I sort of had to change my name. So I'm happy to share that, but I couldn't be who I was born with. What I will tell you is that I will tell you my first name, just like tell you my surname. My first name was James. So I was born James for a long while. And this whole thing went through court and it went through domestic violence abuse court and stuff like that. And by the end of it, my ex was convicted of doing what was said. So at the end of that, after all that dramatic story happened, the police told me it would be a good idea to change the name. And literally sat opposite a policeman on the table. What name would I didn't go under witness protection or anything like that, but actually you'll be harder to find if you're a new name. So this is why I don't want to say the full name, just in case one of the people out there is watching. But he literally sat there and said, so what would you like to be? I was like, I don't know. I've been called this name for so long, I don't know. And I've been really lucky that, as I've said many times on this show, it was really important to me that I was going to be a name that related to something. I just didn't want to be a random name. And I wanted some sort of connection with something with my name. And as I've said on many times here on the show, that I'm a Christian and I go to church, and the church is called St. Nicholas. So that's where I got Nicholas. So it was going to be James Nicholas, and I just thought it didn't have a bit of a ring to it. And then my godfather said to me, well, what about Nicholas James? And something just sprung in my heart. And I was just like, and I still don't know about you, Georgina, or you, Abby, but I still get like a thrill in my heart when somebody calls me my name now, and it's 6 years on. Do you know what I mean? It's 6 years on since I changed my name, but I still get that bouncy feeling in my heart when somebody calls me Nick. It's amazing.
But excuse me, Nicholas James, you are Nicholas of the James.
Nicholas of the James, and kindest of regards, Joanne Lloyd, kindest of regards.
Meredith to you, Nicholas James.
So that is it for this week. Thank you for, just give me a second while I give Alex the heads up to come back on. Thank you for joining us this week. It's been quite an interesting show. I'd like to thank my panel for this week. Can you please thank Georgina Croshaw, Abby Victoria, and Meredith Lloyd. And we cannot forget our famous Gloria. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, Gloria. As Alex performs, if the panellists could turn off their cameras so it can just be based on Alex, but we'll bring Alex back. and he's going to close our show for us. So I'll hand it over to him. Hello. Right. Floor's yours, Alex. Just remain with us when you finish the song. I'll close the show and then we'll say goodbye. All right. Please welcome Alex Kyle.
Okay, this song's called I'll Be Your Lighthouse. It's all it depends. So will you sail to happiness or to paradise? And night light, shine a little light to act as a guide. Just need it all around, but you are not alone in this mess and fog. And I'll be your lighthouse if you let me. I won't leave you stranded, lost out at sea. Be your lighthouse, your guiding star, and my light will find where you are. Now I know that you can be blue, and when you hit the mark, I might split in two. But I will condescend. No, all I'll do is broken hearts. I just need you to know that you are not alone in this mist and fog. And I'll be your lighthouse. You let me go.
Oh, I love it.
For you, stranded, lost out at sea. Be your lighthouse, your guiding star. And my light will find you, no matter where you are. Your lighthouse. I need you, I need you, I need you there. The lighthouse, you got you home. Thank you very much.
Alex, can I say I absolutely love that song. Thank you so much for playing it. Alex Kyle, everybody. If you want to know information more about him, we have lost Jo. I don't know where she's gone. But if you want more information about him, we will follow that up. Join us next week, as on the panel joining me is Sam Bingingham, Mandy Stannard and Vicky Pearson, as we discuss more topics and conversations around you. Thanks again, Alex, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.